Was like a living room setup, but we had the laptop and we had the Yeti mic, and I was recording. Actually, at that time we weren't even doing video yet, but I had the Yeti mic just for pictures and any videos I get on my phone. For the first couple of weeks, I couldn't even get this shit to work. I just had it for aesthetic.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then we shifted over to Jersey City, and then after Jersey City, then we went to Little Ferry. Same thing. We did that. Actually, we did a couple episodes in the dining room. Straight dining room, though. No, like, fancy, nothing. Just straight. We're just chilling in a little dining room in a kitchen. And then we shifted over to my living room. I started making my living room look nice. Not gonna lie, that one was looking pretty fly. If I had the equipment that we have now, because of the couches I had and everything and the color of the walls, it would have looked decent.
You know what we need here, like from the last place? What? We need the Green Ranger helmet.
Everyone's been asking me, man, to bring it.
We need the Green Ranger helmet.
That is true. That did make the centerpiece of this podcast.
Right?
Yeah. You know, do you know that reference?
I've heard the song.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Like
No,
that's no, that's not the song. No, I used that tune, but it was because the Green Ranger had the flute.
Oh, I don't know.
When he would summon the dragon.
I don't know. Yeah,
he's young.
I know the Gold Ranger. I watched the New Age Power Rangers.
Okay. Well, did you know that the Green Ranger was the Gold Ranger?
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, it was Tommy.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Tommy went from Green Ranger, and there was a big mystery. Who is this mysterious Yellow Ranger? And it turned out to be Tommy, and you were like, oh, you again.
Now, question, what was he after White?
He was green. He was the green one.
No.
Oh, after? No, I don't know. Shit. That was before, yeah. Sorry.
He was red.
He was a Red Ranger?
They made him the Red Ranger? That's when I stopped watching.
Yeah, I stopped already too. I found that out like as an adult.
Now, do you remember the movie? Yeah. And not the last movie that came out like five, but the OG movie.
Yeah.
I remember a bunch of
that movie was cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool. But you notice that they changed it before they did the movie. They were like, okay, we're not going to have the Asian one as the yellow one, okay?
Damn.
And the black one as the black one, okay?
Right.
They switched it before the movie, yes.
They did?
Yeah.
And who was who?
It was because during the show, the Power Rangers show, it was very jarring. Just out of nowhere, two of them were replaced. And you were like, what happened? And now it like the Yellow Ranger, the Chinese girl, wasn't there anymore, and it was a black girl. And then the Black Ranger, who was a black guy, he no longer there, was just another white dude. So it's just like, it was just kind of like a, never mind. You know what I mean? And then for the movie.
For this one?
Yes.
Wow. So I thought
and actually the Red Ranger left too.
What Power Rangers did I see?
The main Red Ranger left, and they had another guy. They replaced 3 people.
See, I don't really remember.
It was a killer PR move.
I remember the timing because I remember as a kid, you were like, "Wait a minute," I remember just that, but I don't remember the actual movie.
Oh right, okay, yeah. Ivan Ooze, man. Ivan Ooze was great. You kidding me?
How old were you in '96?
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah, I was in high school.
This one I saw. Is this the one? Yeah. Okay, I've seen it.
That's the iconic.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's the iconic movie. And then they remade the movie, like maybe 10 years ago, which was actually pretty cool. Really? It was actually, you didn't see it? It was kind of cool.
I think I wanted to see it.
Oh, it was pretty cool. It's worth a watch. Like the black kid in it, he was like kind of like on the spectrum. I was like, oh, cool. Like he's a little like artistic-y kind of Power Ranger. This is great.
So how old were you in '96?
96, I was 17. Watching Power Rangers.
Yeah, so you're a little older. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
So I was 6.
Well, that was the movie because Power Rangers before that was out already for a while. So I was watching Power Rangers from middle school onto, and then when the movie came out, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna watch the movie because I watched it as.
Looks like the movie was '95.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Great.
Makes more sense.
Right. Okay. That makes more sense. All right.
Well, one. Yeah.
Zordon. I remember.
Zordon.
I did see the movie. You're right,
Oh my god.
and it was fire.
Yeah, it was
It was
fire.
good.
It was fire.
I did see it. I don't know why I forgot.
I
About it.
remember it was. It was Animaniacs and Power Rangers, and I was like, this is great. This is like it was after school.
Yeah, Power Rangers was the shit back then. But I was 6, so I just don't like. I knew it was all I watched, and it was like all my clothes were, but I don't remember. 'Cause I
No,
was
of course
a
you were
baby.
young. You were young,
Yeah, I
bud.
was a baby.
Yeah. No, man, there was so many great cartoons at that
There
time.
was no Green.
Did you know there was a
Rangers,
cartoon called ProStars? Do you know what it was? ProStars. It was a cartoon of Wayne Gretzky,
Ooh, Wayne
Bo
Gretzky.
Jackson, and Michael Jordan, and they were like a superhero team called ProStars. And Wayne Gretzky did his voice. I don't think Michael did his own voice because Michael was rolling. Like he was like, I ain't doing this shit. You got here. Give me the check. But Bo Jackson was very involved. So and it was called ProStars, and I was hooked on it. It was a Saturday morning cartoon. Look it up, ProStars.
I've
Yeah,
never
we'll
heard
have
of
to
that.
see it. So maybe we'll bring the Ranger here. Maybe we'll. It's such a staple at the house.
Yeah, you gotta
It
bring.
is. That's true.
I know that's yours,
No,
but this is yours.
no.
now.
Exactly. So you know what's funny is Zane gifted that to me. It was,
Right.
he gifted it to me, and it was before he passed too.
Yeah.
It was so then it was crazy how. I don't know if we really talked. I think I talked about it with Zane. I'm like the whole mental health thing too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
isn't that crazy? Like how like it wasn't even
Right.
that was it was years before it even happened, but then it's there. So I guess like that it's significant. Or I don't know how to say that word. Like it's very significant now.
Wait a
So
minute. Backtrack. So wait, who Zane gave you the Power Ranger
before the dude passed.
before who passed?
The Green Ranger.
The Green. What do you mean he passed?
He passed,
You didn't know
The
that?
Green Ranger died?
Yeah.
and it was like
Not in the movie, but like
No, in
the
real
actor.
life.
Yeah, real life.
and
How did I not know this?
trigger warning. I think it was like suicide or
Yeah.
mental health.
It was.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Can you fact check us? Are we?
Tommy from Power Rangers,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
actor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro.
He died?
Just a couple years ago.
Oh
yeah.
my God, I'm beside
wa-
myself
it was
right now. I
wild.
feel like he just
Yeah.
died. I feel like he just
Yeah,
died.
we're sorry, bro. Break that.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
What year was it?
So
We're fact checking us right now.
yeah, I'm looking. So his name is Tommy Oliver.
Oliver.
I mean, that wasn't his real name. That was the character
Yeah, the
name.
I
character.
know, but I'm looking for it.
Okay.
I'm looking for the actor's name.
All right.
Yeah, bro.
That's crazy.
So Jason David Frank.
Yep.
He died in 2022,
Yeah.
November 19th, 2022.
Maybe it's I'm just so numb because every like 5 minutes I'm hearing of like an old great
You
passing
know
away.
what's wild, honestly? That was around when I think you first came on the pod.
That's crazy.
Right.
All right, now keep the helmet there. I don't want these youngins touching it. Like the
Yeah,
cameras.
so where would we put it?
I mean, it has to be on
Right here.
camera. It would have to be
Yeah.
prominent.
Yeah.
It had to be like, yeah, I don't know.
'Cause
That's hard.
Bro, but it's crazy. It did make that set stand out so
Yeah.
much.
Right.
And because it's iconic, bro. It's fucking iconic. It's the Power Rangers. But
Yeah.
the reason why, again, back to how we
Now
found
it's
this
even
out,
more.
is again we had it before like a good year.
Mhm.
We had it before anything happened,
Yeah.
and then it's just like wow.
So would you say if you had to be a Power Ranger, you would be the Green Ranger?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think I would be too. I would be the Green, not even the White Ranger. I'd be the Green Ranger because
Oh,
that
yeah.
gold joint,
Yeah.
Oh,
shit was sick.
yeah. Yeah. That's what made it. I dressed up, a couple times for Halloween when I was a kid. I'll find a picture.
He had an old dragon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's cool.
It was definitely a thing, and we actually also incorporated that into the first episode. Anyone out there, if you have not seen yet, the pilot, the very first episode for Therapy the series, we incorporated the helmet as a major role in the episode. So if you go back and watch it, you will see this Green Ranger helmet that we are talking about, not just in the podcast but in the series. It was like one of the main pieces of the episode.
Yeah.
So it was actually pretty sad.
Damn.
When you watch it, it's pretty sad. Yeah.
Is that like your only like toy from like that kind of represents your childhood that you have?
Yeah, because I lost a lot of stuff. Like I actually lost everything I owned twice in my life.
Oh man,
Yeah.
me too. I know that feels
Yeah.
like.
So
Yeah.
I lost everything, man. I lost, like, one time I lost a lot because I moved around a lot in my life. Like, my first, like, 15 years of my life was, like, rough. So,
Yeah.
like, we actually got kicked out of where I was living because my mom got locked up. So then when that happened, I was being shifted around. And then we had a house down the shore. And that was my grandmother's that she gifted from my mom. But when she started dealing with her, like, addiction and her battles and stuff, and she came here, I wanted to be here. So we had this house there. We had this house that we were, like, really always wanted to keep. It was down in Brick.
Mm-hmm.
So then when we got kicked out of the actual apartment, mom got locked up. We took everything, all of our belongings, and put it in that house while I was, like, moving around here. And then eventually we ended up losing a house,
That's
you know, for
crazy.
taxes and my grandma in a nursing home and all that.
Yeah.
So all of our, years worth of just, belongings got lost
Mm-hmm.
because they actually sold the house just so quick from tax, just, life stuff, right? Before you even realize it, the house is gone, auctioned off and all that. So that was the first time. And then the second time, I ended up struggling really bad. I was homeless. So I took all my stuff and I put it in a storage. And then I couldn't pay for the storage.
Oh yeah, they
So
just
I
throw it
Lost
out.
everything.
Lost everything.
No, isn't that what they do in these reality shows where they auction
auction it
people's
Yep.
Yeah.
stuff?
Oh, yeah.
What's the one thing that you wish you could have kept?
Oh, this is going to be sad. And I'm actually going to edit it out. I'm going to say it just for here, but my mom's ashes. I lost my mom's ashes.
Oh God,
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's
bro.
okay.
I'm sorry.
yeah, that's,
No, but it's real. It's real shit, man.
Yeah,
It's real stuff. So, because I was homeless when I was living out the car. So obviously I
Yeah.
didn't want it in the car with me.
yeah.
So I put it in there in the storage, and I fucking lost it, man.
Bro, I just gotta commend you, man.
Yeah,
You've
that's-
come from you and I, we're brethren because we came from nothing, bro.
Yeah, bro.
And just you have come so far.
Thank you, man.
This is such a, you own a company, you own a couple companies,
Yep.
and you employ me, you employ people,
Yep.
you
Me
know,
too, brother.
you know, dude, when I was last year, man, I was financially hurting. And the only person that called me, of all my colleagues in the industry, Joe was the only dude that called me and be like, you want to work?
Got you, bro.
That's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? This guy's like creating opportunities. Don't cry, man.
No.
I know, man. It's all right.
Sorry, we got some viewers.
You
Nah,
know,
but
But bro, you not only are you've fucking bootstrapped up, you've helped me do that. You've helped other people do that.
You've grown a team.
It's phenomenal,
Everybody looks up
man.
to you, bro.
because again, I know, and that's the funny part too is a lot of people don't know like my real, so there's some people, man, like one of my best friends, Mikey, him, right?
Yeah.
Like we were when he first helped me because he's like the handy guy,
Yeah.
and he was helping me. We were almost done. We put up the sign in there to be obsessed with being
Mhm.
average. And he just stopped. He was like, "You ever think about what your mom thinks about this?" And it's just like,
Yeah.
the people that've been there for like again the wild shit, bro. Like, just the first 15 was really really rough, interesting. But also when I say that, I also like don't mention it because it's like it was rough for me, and it was definitely pretty rough. But people always had it way worse. But I do think about it a lot now as things that you guys know, the inner things that's been happening behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, holy shit, bro. Like I can't wait to like really tell the story. But just to motivate people, just to show people that it's possible, bro. Like,
Well, I'm gonna add one more thing, right? We're going through a very rough time politically, whatever. And you have a lot. My algorithm's filled with, people in despair, people scared, people worried about all these things. Joe's probably one of the only people in my algorithm be like, yo, we up. Yo, we doing stuff. Yo, opportunities out here. It's attitude. It's all about perspective and attitude, bro. And like, because this dude has seen the worst of life. I've certainly seen the worst of life. Yeah, I can see that things are bad, but I'm like, no, but I know things could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's about perspective, bro.
Perspective.
And your attitude is part of your success. You know?
It is.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, like what you said a couple of episodes ago, I think we're going to I think I cut a clip of you talking about it, about the brothers who just see life, and you go a different route, man.
Yeah.
I've just always wanted more. And when you start seeing it's possible, bro, and you start seeing that, and I'm also, again, my faith is crazy, and I had even such the journeys of the test of the faith. Like, bro, I used to think I was cursed, bro. I swear to you, I thought I was cursed. Like, I really did. Because of the stuff that I was going, like, bro, it was just things after in every area. It was like, your mom here, your pops here, your friend here, your love here, your weight here, your health here, like every little, and it's like, bro, can I get a fucking break? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So then you start, that shit really starts questioning your faith on some real shit. But then when you start just like, keep going and you don't stop and you keep pushing, you could really see. And then, once you do have that faith, you just keep rolling with the punches. And then that exposure, like, it's okay, we good.
No, okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, we good. Got that AI noise cancellation. Shout out to AI.
Yeah, I used that for that sheriff's thing.
Yeah.
You saw the note? That was AI, man.
Yeah, bro, you have to. But in all seriousness, like at the end of the day, it's tough though too. It really is like, and this is stuff that I guess lately I've been really talking about a lot. I talk, shout out to Jennifer. I'm like, yo, like right now, bro, I'm trying to change generationals. Like, I'm like, yo, like I'm like, bro, I am trying to make you the most successful person in your fucking bloodline. Like, that's what I want. And it's crazy, but it's like, bro, it's possible. Mm-hmm. So when you see these possibilities and you hear the Grant Cardones of the world, we see like that just fires me up because it shows you like, yo, there's people out here that, and it's possible. And when you start doing the math and you see these other YouTubers and you see people like, a lot of people that I know, we met mutual people, they're killing it, they're doing their things. And it's like, wow, like if you just put your mind to it, like, because the opportunities are there. Back in the day, like I loved all this shit when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. Back in in that time, that's when I started falling for like TV, film in like 96, 97. Did it. And my mom was mad supportive because she knew I loved it. Mm-hmm. But she was like, even though in her own battles, she was still very there. Mm-hmm. And she was just like, you could do it, but, it's really hard to get a job in that. She's like, so you could always do it. Always gonna be here to support you, whatever. She's like, but just realistically, it's like really hard to be in that world. So then I shifted away from that because, again, we didn't have that, like, that belief or that possibilities or that exposure. You didn't see it was a thing. Now it's like, bro, we see, people that are out here doing your thing. Like, yo, you made a film, like an amazing film that it's like, bro, like people would be mind blown or sometimes think it's so difficult to be able to do it. But it's like, bro, you did it, feature length film and like film, film academies and this and that. Like, bro, like people think it's like rocket science. It's not. No. It's hard work. Hard work.
Yes.
Rocket science? No. Hard work, discipline?
Yeah.
But is it rocket science?
No, not at all. It's really not. Some of the dumbest people in the world make good movies.
Right?
Some of the dumbest people. Making movies, bro. You know what I mean? So, egomaniacs, weirdos. You know what I mean? People that marry their own stepdaughters. They're considered geniuses for making movies. You know what I'm saying? It's weird, bro. Who am I talking about?
I don't even want to know.
I don't know. Woody Allen, man. He married his stepdaughter. But I'm just saying, like, there are just so many weird characters out there that can make movies or even like that are really rich that do like socially, like not even awkward. They're socially awkward and they're just socially like moronic that run amazing companies. So it's not rocket science. It's just, it really is determination. What's the word? Perseverance. Yeah. You know what I mean? And, stubbornness.
You have to.
Yeah.
Javi, I want to know too from your perspective, because man, I always commend you, bro, all the time. And even in rooms that you're not in it, I always say like, you're a hard fucking worker. You've been in it. You've been doing it. Like even, and this with everyone. I'm always like, yo, damn, I want to be able to provide more. I want to be able to do like more. But like, you've been there too with me and you've been seeing the whole journey. But like, I guess even from when you were younger, what kept you to see that like it's a real thing? Like you could really do shit. Like I wonder. Like sometimes people, it goes two different ways. A lot of times I feel like people your age, it's either like you think it's just sometimes so difficult or it's so tough because it's also a lot of imposter syndrome where you're seeing people with like such these lavish lifestyles that sometimes it can like turn away. But then also on the one side, I feel like your generation kind of really grew up with it. Like we saw both sides.
Yeah.
We saw the absolutely, like, you know, when we're, especially if we're talking about like film and movies and even just being like making something out of like nothing internet wise or production wise.
Right.
Like, bro, when we were young, that was like, it was Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like you had to go and go.
You had to be connected.
That was the route. Like
Yeah,
that's
bro.
how our parents, like that's what I was being fed at that age because it was.
We were taught that it wasn't meant for us.
Yeah.
Wow.
So like,
Yeah.
for you, I always just, because, you know, obviously I know like, you know, TikTok and things like for Jay, like, you know, musically, like, you know, they grew up kind of on the internet and I'd say you as well too. So you've always seen it. So do you think that's maybe helped you at all? Because you see it was real, it was a real thing?
Maybe. I mean, that's probably a part of it. But I mean, when I was kind of like paying attention to social media, it was more on like the Vine days, like when Vine was really becoming a thing. So I just saw the same things that go viral on TikTok now are the same things that went viral 10 years ago on Vine. So it's kind of just like recycled, but with, you know, different spin on it or different words, whatever. But it's not the hardest. I think social media is a great equalizer. I think like anyone can get in front of a camera and say something valuable and grow a following and have people be interested in your perspective. Because like we were talking about perspective before, like perspective is universal and everyone on this earth has a different perspective than someone else about something. You just have to find your niche, like who you're trying to speak to. And I think sometimes people have trouble on social media because it's like you speak in generalities. Like we try to like address everyone with what we say, but sometimes you just have to like be targeted.
Yeah, I actually heavily agree with that. When people tell me they want to start podcasts, the first thing I ask them is, "What do you want to do a podcast about?"
Right.
And they're like, "Well, you know, just everything. I just want to do a podcast." I'm like, "No, man, be laser focused.
Right.
You want to do a podcast for everyone? You going to compete with Disney because they make stuff for everyone."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Think about a laser focused audience, something that you feel like you know so much about this one thing that other people that want to know about it will tap into what you're saying because now you're in their algorithm.
Right. Trust your opinion on it.
There you go. And I think I truly think that's why, like Disney and some of these big franchise companies are having a hard time anymore because they're not thinking in niches anymore. Like think about Shudder, right? Shudder is a horror streaming service. Like that's a very modestly successful streaming service. They spend the money, they make movies, they know their lane.
They make their own content?
They make they make their own movies. They know their lane. But when you try to become one of these things that try to serve everyone, then you're getting lost in everyone's algorithm because you're not tapping into any, because that's what algorithms are doing now. Interest, niche. What's the niche?
And I think specifically in Disney's case, the stock price speaks for itself as well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Disney, we were talking about Uber before. Disney hasn't moved in like 10 years.
Yeah. Well, they're still in recovery mode.
Right, but they're having an identity crisis because after COVID, they have all these political things, and then they make these movies that are so like, I don't want to say racy, but they're so like, trying to be socially correct.
Right.
And that doesn't.
And now you're dividing your audience.
You're dividing your audience.
So what are you niche? Because then fine, be niche. But don't
stick to
claim,
it.
Stick to it.
Stick
But don't
to
claim
it.
that you're for everyone.
Right.
But then you're making stuff just for one audience.
Right. And that's why their valuation has dropped so much.
Yeah.
And they hired their previous CEO back.
Yeah, I know.
Because they need him.
They
need him.
And but to be perfectly honest though, his success coming back has nothing to do with fixing that. The only thing they did was just cut jobs.
Right.
And
because he's not
just
coming
cut
in
jobs.
and fix the social aspect. He's coming in because they need a numbers guy to clear it out. And he's the best one. The socially thing, they've already dug their grave.
Yeah.
A majority of America have already made their decision.
That's true.
And they've this is coming from a Star Wars fan.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you've pissed off arguably the biggest franchise besides Marvel. And arguably, right? Because Star Wars is older
Which
than
Star
Marvel.
Wars thing pissed you off?
The whole new trilogy. The first Rogue One was good. That was the first
great.
one.
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
the first
yeah.
one from the trilogy.
That
The
was
other
great.
two they're horrible.
They were really bad.
They're really bad.
But yeah, because they didn't have a plan.
Ahsoka, really bad. Mandalorian, okay.
Mando's cool.
Okay. you
Boba
know.
Fett.
We got to see Luke, and that was cool. But it's just a majority of the things that they make up.
Andor is fire.
But that's is it fire or is it Star Wars?
Andor?
Yeah.
It's Rogue One, the show.
I haven't watched Andor.
Oh, bro. It's the same characters from Rogue One.
Right.
It's starring him, and it's his story. It's
Javi's like,
dope.
I'm watching that tonight.
No, but it's slow. It's
Listen, I wanna see-
mature adult Star Wars. Any kid, we're gonna be like, this is boring.
Let me
But this it's.
Let me give you
fire.
an example of why I love Star Wars. I love Star Wars because of the story. When you see the original trilogy made by
Yeah.
George Lucas, now me being older, understanding the political aspect of it and how it was the best movie series I've ever seen.
Andor is all politics.
But it's
You haven't seen it yet.
I haven't
You
seen
haven't
it.
seen it. You gotta watch it.
I
You gotta
haven't
watch
seen
it.
it,
You
but-
gotta watch it. I think
But-
it'll quench that thirst.
This is my point, though.
Yeah.
Disney has seeded distrust in their audience, so
Yeah.
they don't want to view. They don't. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
As someone who loves Star Wars, I don't know.
Because the one before it was Skeleton Crew, it was just a bunch of kids, and I'm like, how is this in the same world as Andor? You know, and that's what they're trying to do, and it's weird. It's weird. They're trying to do it with Marvel too, where
Oh, that's another
they'll
thing.
do like Miss Marvel, which is like for girls, young girls, but then in the same world. You know, we got Punisher shooting and killing people on
Right,
Daredevil, and I'm like,
right.
how is this the same world? And I think it's either they're going, look, we're cool that adults don't want to see Miss Marvel, but come over and check out Daredevil, where Punisher is bodying people. Did you watch Daredevil? I don't know if you watched Daredevil.
No, I
Yeah.
didn't watch Daredevil.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I
Yeah.
haven't watched most of Disney's products.
Wow.
I heard the Snow White movie bombed horribly.
Yeah.
The new one because of all the stuff that the actors
Why do they
said.
keep making
No, I don't
everything
think
a
that's why it
musical?
bombed.
Yeah, 100%.
Why do they
I'm gonna
keep-
tell you why it bombed. I'm gonna tell you why it bombed.
Why it bombed?
Okay. I think it bombed because Snow White came out when? The original one?
Oh, I don't know.
In like a 1930.
Yeah,
and
yeah, it was
people
100 years
don't
old.
care about Snow White. But
Of course they do.
no, they don't care.
It's like they care
I
about. It's like saying they don't
promise-
care about Jasmine from Aladdin.
No, but that's different. Jasmine's more current. When we were, I remember when Aladdin came out as a kid, so it had my attention because it was a familiar thing. But the people that are spending money to go to the movies now is Gen Z. Gen Z don't know nothing about Snow White. That's why Lilo and Stitch is gonna rack up because it's the properties. Snow White, why nobody asked for a remake of Snow White? Nobody asked for that. That's
Well-
a 1930s property and people were like, huh?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. A 1930s property. It's the first
Yeah,
Disney
but
movie ever, but
nobody
these kids
wants
don't
to
know
know.
about that.
No, but
These kids know about
Cinderella.
Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch,
They know about Simba. They know about Aladdin.
Lion King.
They know about those things. But when you try to bring
You're-
an
they're-
old
you're-
property like that,
That's arguable because I was young and I know about Popeye and I know about Betty Boop.
all right, no, that's fair. but
that's
I understand.
1930s.
But is enough
That's
people
rare.
right?
That's
But
rare.
do you?
But
have
I'm
you-
that generation.
But do you think you're gonna see a Popeyes movie come out now?
No.
Ah, right.
Because it doesn't sell.
Right, exactly.
That's the point, though. So if it's a legacy show, right? If Snow, what do we say? Snow
White.
If Snow White is a legacy show, just like Cinderella. Cinderella's super old, right?
Yeah, you don't see a movie coming out for that either.
Well, then they should have made it.
I don't
I
know.
remember those VHS cassettes that I used to rent from the library, the Johnson Public Library. I used to watch all that stuff. Snow White
I
and the
get
Seven
it, but
Dwarfs.
it's not enough people to drive. They
Yeah,
want
not
to.
many people are like that.
Disney wants $1 billion.
So you think that they already have enough people not interested in it? You think that then they're gonna put an actor that says things like the
So what did she say? What did she
I don't remember. She said something.
No, but I'm gonna say something. No one knows what she said, but they know that they hate her.
No, because I've seen this is me, right? I am the kind of person, like, I see things, and when it's foolishness, I disassociate myself with it. Like, I don't pay attention to it. I know what she said because I saw the clip and I read the article.
Okay.
But it's like,
Is it the anti-Trump thing?
no, it's not anti-Trump. I think she was saying something along the lines of, like, this movie is gonna be breaking from the Snow White norm, and the whole Prince thing, and there's not gonna be a Prince in this movie because I'm an independent woman.
The Prince is in it.
I don't, something along the. Let me fact check real quick. Let me whip out the Googles.
They try to switch it up and make it.
And then they try to switch it up, and the movie just
2024.
bombed.
Well,
horribly.
I truly think it was, yes. Rachel Zellweger, what she said.
That's her name?
Yeah, Zegler.
Zegler.
Definitely, she did not help the situation, and also it didn't help because, I know that the one that plays the Queen,
She described
Gal Gadot.
She described the prince's actions as stalking and criticized the film's outdated depiction of women, arguing that her version of Snow White would be
stupid.
about becoming a leader, not simply waiting to be saved by a prince.
So hear me.
So trying to
The
push
movie
that.
is for kids. Do you think those kids even know what
So
the heck
then why
she's
would she
talking
say
about?
that?
Right. No, I
Who
agree.
is she speaking
I'm
to?
not defending her at all. Trust me. I am defending. Okay. But I don't think that. I just think that the film was a miss. No, if she said nothing at all, the film was a miss.
I think this highlights Disney's problem. They allow their actors to do and behave in that manner when their target audience is children. Why are
What do you mean allow?
Who hired her? Disney had to approve.
Well, right, of course, but
And
she
she
said that like on her own will. You can't.
Well, they fired Gina Carano for saying the same thing about the COVID vaccine.
Yeah, but but it doesn't make any sense because that's after. No, I hear what you're saying, and that was stupid. That was stupid in my opinion.
But that's the same.
Yeah, that was
thing.
stupid.
It's just a different reason why they fired the person.
I think she said that after she had already made the movie, they've already invested the money.
Gina Carano?
No, I'm talking about Rachel.
No, they didn't make the movie. This was prior. This
was before the movie was
show.
made.
This is like, how like they have those gala things where they dress up and they interview the star.
And
on
then
the,
before
like
that?
the premiere. Yeah, before the movie didn't come
So
out.
that was pretty stupid. But that wasn't. But I feel like vaccine and her just trying to be.
And mind you, Gina Carano was
You know.
in Mandalorian. She was the star.
She wasn't the star.
Yeah, bro.
Pedro Pascal was the
But
star.
he never took his mask off. You just heard his voice.
Yeah, but it was Pedro Pascal.
She was right. It was Pedro
was his
Pascal.
show.
But she was the star of that show where she pulled out the
not-
Gatling gun.
She wasn't in every episode.
It wasn't in every, but the ones, if you look at the IMDb rating on all the episodes,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
how
yeah.
I do, the ones that she was in did the best.
No, listen. It was stupid that they. I really do hate that there was this period where, I hate cancel culture. I truly hate cancel culture. It's being misused. Cancel culture came from, you a racist? Okay. Where do you work? Got it. I don't want to spend my money at your establishment. And it went from that to, oh, you don't believe in vaccines? Okay, get this motherfucker out of here. Oh, you don't like this? Yo,
too
guys,
drastic.
come after them. You know what I mean? And
But
that's
I
why
think that
the
slowed
pendulum
down, though.
completely. Oh, right. Now we have the complete opposite. Now we have the complete opposite going on, where the other side is trying to cancel people for saying bad things about Trump. It's weird. It's crazy. It's weird how the people that hate cancel culture is now trying to do cancel culture.
And you know
It's
what's wild
crazy.
too? It's wild how some people though, like there's certain people that just can't get canceled.
Who's someone that's cancel proof? Chappelle?
Tom Cruise,
Cruise.
100%.
You know who I
What
think?
did he do? That
There's nothing that he can do that will get him canceled.
I don't know. Never say
Kidding me?
never, bro.
So, everyone knows I'm a big Eminem fan.
Yeah.
If anyone has listened to his last album,
It's pretty great.
you listen to it.
Oh, yeah, I loved
You
it.
talked to, like,
I loved
bro,
it. I mean, right, but he was trying to get canceled. He was like saying
Yeah,
the
but, like,
worst things he can come up
exactly.
with but it's also the timing. You know what I mean? But
he got lucky though. So not lucky,
Did
but
he?
like, I guess not lucky, but
He was early.
it's Eminem.
No,
He's
no.
old. That's his
that's
brand.
yeah. But isn't it crazy? He's I feel like he's cancel proof at this point. Everything he said on that album,
What'd he say? Like, what is it?
bro, like
Yeah, you got to hear the album. It was a lot. It was
it was,
loaded.
like, loaded, bro. Like he
Like loaded like Kanye loaded?
no.
Like Kanye tweets or Kanye music?
Tweet.
Kanye,
Let's do tweets.
oof.
No,
Oh
we're close.
God!
That shit will get him hanged if he says that.
No, bro. He went pretty left.
He went hard. He
like
went hard.
he went hard.
Yeah.
So it just shows you some, and I just laugh because I big M fan, a lot, and he just does it just for the attention. He's smart. He's done it his whole career. Yo, it's just hilarious how you just hear some of this stuff. Like I listened to it the other day in the gym, and I'm just like, the balls, bro.
Yeah.
Like the ball for
He's
someone
always had
that
balls,
famous.
though. Yeah.
Like for them to be.
But that he's always been like that's all what he's always done in all his music. Even back when Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears he was always talking shit about them. He was always coming for them. He went after everybody. That was his thing, was going after people. You know what I mean? That was his whole spiel.
But he went, Javi, you gotta listen to it top to bottom. It is
The last thing I remember from that was the MGK beef. Remember that?
Oh no, this was a recent album.
The MGK?
MGK.
Yeah, Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh God.
Remember that shit? Kill
That
Shot?
was weak.
That shit was
No,
funny.
yeah,
That wasn't a battle.
No,
Nah, he
funny.
just-
That wasn't a battle.
They were
That was
trolling.
Machine Gun was just trying to make a name for himself by going at Eminem, and I'm like, bro, don't no, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, and then Emily even said it himself. He's like, look, I gotta build you a career to destroy it. That was the line.
That's crazy.
And then he's like digging the grave in the music video. He's like fucking, he dug his own grave.
Yo, man, see, thank you, Eminem. That's what you say because you probably gave him a couple of looks.
He did.
He gave him a couple of looks. You know what I mean? But that was.
But that just, I was thinking about the whole cancel culture the other day when I was listening to the album. I'm just like, there's some people though that just built themselves, like.
But I think the overall cancel culture thing is pretty much dead. But I also think that now you have what they're doing now is if someone says they don't like a certain political figure from on the right, now they're trying to mobilize the MAGA movement to cancel them. You know what I mean? Like I've seen them doing now that whenever someone says something anti-Trump, like I think Jack Black had said something anti-Trump, and then they canceled his Tenacious D concert because he said something. But they said some wild shit. They did, but still, it's like
He says, Jack Black says some wild
no,
shit?
the guy that he was performing with said some wild shit.
I remember that.
Right, but they canceled the whole thing because of that.
But he says something along the lines of
Yeah,
like,
it was-
shoot Trump or
Yeah.
something.
No, listen, I'm right, but it's
What do
still
you expect?
Yeah, I get it, but it's still canceling, right? Like it's
To what the left would say, what is canceling? What are we allow people hate speech? That's hate speech.
bro.
You get canceled for less than that in 2020.
I mean, but right, but yes,
Yeah.
Robert De Niro, 100%. But it's like,
Who's gonna say shit to him, right?
but all right, so you know who's cancel proof? Donald Trump.
Yeah.
He said pretty much the worst, some of the worst things in the world.
I was gonna say,
and no one holds him accountable. And when they try to say something, they're like, "Oh, stop bitching about it." I'm like, all right.
You want to know why that is? Because the left has lost all of their credibility during the whole Russia, and all that shit from his 2016 campaign. So the credibility that they would have had in calling out the shit that he's done, the American public, they don't have any credibility now. Fake news. That's why he went so viral for the whole fake news shit. Because it's like, is it propaganda? Because it's information given to you through their opinion. So it's a biased opinion. You're not getting the information. You're getting told a narrative to think. People don't like that shit. Let me think what I want to think. Let me find out for myself.
I will also say I think the whole cancel culture has been slowly dying too, because I think you see a lot of people now that a lot of people that were canceling people, I think it was a very young generation. Now they're getting older, and I think a lot of them too are starting to see that a lot of them are viewing things differently.
Yeah.
Age of maturity. And they're starting to see the people that they supported and looked up to are even changing their views a little bit.
Good.
Or
I hope
I'm
so.
26.
I hope
telling
so.
you that.
Yeah, I know.
know
Listen,
what I'm saying? I grew
listen,
up with this shit in the past 5
I'm not.
years.
Listen, I'm not a fan of cancel culture. I'm not. I am a fan of using your dollars if you feel that someone's racist or you feel that someone's using your community against you and they're making profit off your community. Yeah, use your dollars. Like Target, F that. You know what I mean? Like, if you feel whatever your thing is, like, I thought Target, the whole Target movement was an interesting thing because I knew people that are not even that conscious of what's going on right now. Like, they don't keep up with the news, but they're even like, no, I'm not doing Target. I'm like, wow. You know what I mean? And I'm just saying, I think the Target move was an example of going, that is how you mobilize if you don't agree with what a company is doing. And you go, all right, well, you can do that without my money. But when you try, because someone has a view or someone has a perspective on a social issue, like, and even Rachel Zegler, like, she said some pretty mean things about Trump. People are like, you should just shut your mouth. You're a celebrity. Like, no, she pays taxes just like everybody else. If she can say whatever she wants about Trump,
then you're gonna have to live with the consequences,
bro. But then
That's fair.
so
that's
all
fair.
right. So then Gina is fair game.
No. Hold on now, though. Hold on. I'm not. But was what she said a lie, or
What?
her opinion about all the vaccine and all of the things when they're forcing people and they're making, if you don't get it, you're gonna get fired. She's telling you that
they both express an opinion.
But no. She's giving you information. That was the truth. It was just
What-
not being revealed at that time. It took
Wait,
years.
wait, hold on. We're not going to start talking about vaccines and stuff like that, because I do agree that some vaccines are bad, but I also do believe that some vaccines are keeping some of us alive right now.
Yeah, sure.
But right. But
not a vaccine denier.
she said right.
I'm
but
just saying what she was
she
saying.
is expressing an opinion.
This is the perfect example of how people were being dishonorably discharged from the military for not taking the vaccine, and now the Trump
Yeah, that's
administration
awful. That's
has
awful.
given them full back pay with full reinstatement and asked them to
Good,
enlist.
good.
All right, that's a
good.
reset of that situation. Why? Navy SEALs
Yeah,
were
that's
getting
crazy.
discharged. Our soldiers on the front line in the battles around the world.
That's crazy.
All right, are being discharged because they're being forced by their government to take something that they don't want to take.
Let me tell you, Democrats, I've already kind of switched some things where I'm like, I'm a liberal, I'm not a Democrat.
Right.
I've said it because it's like,
So-
I am because I cannot stand this party. I cannot stand them. Like, they need they are in an identity crisis. Some of them say and do some of the stupidest things in the world, but I'm a liberal. I have liberal ideals. But canceling people and not listening to people when they're sick. Like, I had a friend that she had a heart condition because of the vaccine. I know a guy that went deaf because he took the second shot. But like that
By
shit,
the way, this is coming from a person. I took the vaccine.
right.
I
did
have
too.
both shots.
I did. Me too.
Okay, just
Me
you know.
too.
But nonetheless,
But that's dangerous, bro. And it's like, and instead of treating people like they're all the same, you get a shot, you got a shot, you got a shot. No, like, no, wait a minute. I have a heart condition and I have a job and I'm a teacher. What do you mean? Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro?
you shouldn't be forced to take.
No,
it.
no, not 100%. I 100% agree.
So-
and I remember reading about this study. They were talking about how the social distance thing that cost us a lot of money, cost us a lot of time. You know, the hindsight article was just like, it was a New York Times article. They were like that it really didn't make a difference. But the only thing it did was the only thing that it could have done, it made some difference. But the problem is that you didn't listen to the people. The people were like, wait a second, can we talk about this? And it was like black and white, no. And that is like, look again, bro. It's that's why we're in the situation right now where the pendulum has swung and we went extreme to like a new extreme.
Yeah.
And it's crazy,
For a
bro.
different side.
Yeah, 100%. So and that's why it's like it's gotten really out of control. But I think that when it came to vaccines and when it comes to social distance, all those things, it's really a case by case. Not everyone is the same. Not everyone has the same heart condition. Not everyone has diabetes. Those are clearly the people that are more at risk. You know what I mean? The only
100%.
thing from the study that was shown was that, and yes, it was that people in certain states that had gotten vaccines, there was less cases of COVID, but overall it was such a small number. You know what I mean? So, but I could share the article with you. But
Yeah.
I will say I hate cancel culture. You know what I mean? Listen, bro, the fact that I could tweet something, I remember around the time the whole cancel culture thing, I remember like looking up tweets that I tweeted in like 2011, and I was like, holy shit.
You get banned for that shit.
Let me delete this shit right now. Oh my God. But back then we didn't know what Twitter was then. We didn't know that Twitter was going to be an
What it is
official
today.
statement.
And it's gonna be bigger.
This is gonna be my official statement. No, I was just talking shit
And now, man,
about my
people-
boss. You know what I mean?
Right.
No, people are holding people to that.
It's
Yeah,
crazy,
bro. It's crazy.
I think if y'all think Javi and Ramon should start up like a political podcast.
No, God, no. We have enough of those. Jesus Christ.
Nah, yeah, I would smoke it. I've been telling him he's got to come up with some type of piece of content. Maybe even not a podcast, but like,
I think he should do a
piece of-
business podcast.
oh yeah, well that too.
I think business minded,
yeah.
you know.
And the reason why it's good that you know a lot of this is because it does tie in with business.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
that's how you
I'm
know.
just so interested in it. And mind you, I'm fairly new to this entire world. Like prior to 2018, 2019, I didn't really know much. I just really immersed myself in COVID. And I really watched everything unravel with no political bias. Because I was curious. I used to see Trump, like Trump, I don't fucking know who Trump is. I've heard the name, but okay, he won. No shit. As a matter of fact, I used to watch. His name is Michael Cox. He was like he went to prison. I used to watch like all kinds of weird YouTube videos and podcasts and stuff like that. And he went to prison for doing like financial fraud during 2008, and he was doing a bunch of real estate scams. And then he was talking about how he was in prison when he watched Trump win the 2016 election. And that was what got me interested to watch it. So I started following Trump and following all this shit. And then I follow all these micro influencers. And then on the business side, I'm listening to Patrick Bet-David. And I'm just seeing how everything is unraveling. And I just straight up didn't believe with some of the stuff that was going on. But I didn't have a choice. I have to I'm living it.
You know what I can't stand? Liberal media.
Yeah.
It's really, I think that their biggest mistake was going too hard on Trump and not going hard on Joe Biden at all. They went a little hard on it, especially when he was trying to run again, and they were like, Biden, that was the first time I was like, thank God, someone speak up and tell this dude to sit down.
Yeah.
Well, that's because they tried to run Bernie. And you can't run Bernie. And now that's the whispers now. Now that's the new age. It's going to
too
be
late.
AOC and
No, that's not
and Bernie
happening.
Sanders.
That's not happening.
I hope not. 'Cause
America hates
that's-
women of color, especially as leaders.
Well,
America hates women of color. It's what it is, collectively.
Yo, I heard one Republican recently say that he was gonna just run as a liberal.
Yeah,
Just
well,
as
yeah,
a
of
Democrat.
course.
He was gonna run as a Democrat.
That's what Bear Adams did. He goes, you know what? I want to be a Democrat.
Yeah.
If Adams is not a Democrat.
Yeah, but then he did everything.
yeah, because now look what happened. As soon as he said something about immigration, get him out of there.
They don't want him there. They don't want him there
Interesting.
anymore.
What does that tell you? You know, I mean, I don't know. Shit like that is just, you see the writing on the wall, and you can just see through. I can't even listen to some liberal media for like 10 seconds, because as soon as I just hear they're talking, because now you see it in a different light. And now you know, okay,
Yeah.
you're not getting information, you're getting fed talking points.
Yep.
I don't want to hear that shit.
But again, that's a pendulum thing, because that's all you get on Fox News.
Yeah, you do.
Fox News really
for that.
Like, it's really just black.
feed off of each
it's
other.
like it's day and night. It's
Right.
day and night. You go to Fox News, and it's like, it could be like, bro, it's just day and night. And I yearn. I just listen to 1010 Wins now, bro. It's crazy. You ever listen to 1010 Wins?
No,
It's just on the radio. It's radio news,
Yeah.
AM radio news, and they just give it to you straight. No opinions. He's like, this is what it is.
Yeah.
This is what's happening. You decide. Bye. And I'm like, thank you. Like, no opinions. Don't shove any opinions down my throat. Let me just make them. Like, I really had to pull back, because it's like, but I also blame like the internet and social media, because it's very much like niche. Are you left or are you right? No, I'm center. Oh, that's not really gonna feed.
because-
That's not gonna feed emotions.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
that's their business model. They don't. It's almost become like they don't care what they tell you. It's how they phrase what they tell you that
Right.
will become inflammatory to get more clicks and views and to
It's all entertainment at the end of the
yeah.
day.
So like, but that's the problem when your mainstream information source, right? Like, because millions of people watch TV to get information, is just clickbait, opinionated information. It just misconstrues your entire society's point of view on the real
Because-
world.
yeah,
And then you
because-
step outside and it's like, That's why you have so many people with mental health issues and all of these social problems, because it's like, oh my God, I want to go back and listen to the Talking Box.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. This is a scary world out here.
It is wild because most people just don't educate themselves properly.
Yeah.
And they do just turn on, they click the button, and they just.
Do you know of any like non-biased news sources?
Yeah.
What do you go to?
A good one is Ground News.
Ground News?
Ground News. I use Ground News to pull articles for business, for my morning routine, but they have a software that breaks down what could be a blind spot for a party. So like, let's say, for example, an article comes out about something that Elon Musk said, right? It will tell you if it's being reported in other news sources. So like, let's say it will tell you if left-leaning news outlets are reporting this story, or more right, or more center. And then you can know who's trying to push what narrative. Oh, because like it's 98% on the liberal media, but it's not on the Republican side. Okay, well then let's look at why it's not being reported on the conservative side, and then vice versa, because then that's how they control the narrative, right? If they move in lockstep, right, in unison, and say, let's publish this, let's push this, let's say this, but Fox News doesn't pick it up, a whole portion of the audience is missing that piece of information. So I use that just to like see where people are come from, and then I'll do my own research. I'll say, okay, well they're saying he said this. Let me, where did he say it? Or this press conference? Okay, then I'll go to YouTube, pull up the press conference, and I'll start it from the question, from when he's asked a question. Okay, boom, now I have his answer. I pull back the article. It's they just took this out of context and blew it up. I can know it's bullshit. That's how I kind of move around.
Yeah.
And look at my stuff. But who's gonna do that?
I mean,
People
I
are not
had to
gonna
do it
that.
recently.
They're gonna go on Instagram. He said what? Go to Twitter. What a misogynist, rich billionaire, baron, monster. You know what I mean? It's like, bro.
Yo, I'll be honest. I don't watch none of that shit. Nothing.
And that's why this dude's making the most money in this world.
Well, you have. No, you know what?
None of that shit.
This is that you have to pay attention to it,
Right.
because that's how you're gonna make money.
Yeah,
that's true.
No, it does. It does.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is what they're planning. This is what they announced. This is what they want to do. This is how they're framing this.
But you know what it is, though? Honestly,
this is the best time to buy stocks, because he's been crashing the market for like weeks. You know how many buying opportunities?
I feel like it's
been?
I still think it's gonna get lower.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I want the recession.
Yeah,
I want a 400% tariff on China, because then everything domestically becomes cheaper. I'll tell you what. That's something that I don't understand about the whole inflation thing. Kind of why markets were pumping today, because Trump came out and said, "I have no intention of removing Powell, of Federal Reserve Chairman Powell." That's another.
I mean, I hope not, because that was scary when he said that he was going to remove Powell.
Well,
because I don't want Trump dictating the interest rates.
First,
that is dangerous.
That will never happen.
Okay, good. I hope not.
Number one, the office of the president does not control the power of the purse. That's the Congress.
I agree.
Okay, that's number one. Number two, the Federal Reserve is a quasi-private public entity. So, that's why a lot of people who say things like that about Trump, you have to read Art of the Deal. You have to read his book.
Oh my God, I'm not reading
understand.
That book. I'm not reading
But you see, look, that's his reaction. That's why they don't get it. That's why they don't get the way that he negotiates.
Okay.
Right? That's why he plays hardball. He knows he doesn't have the power to remove him. Right. He appointed him.
Right.
He appointed him. Right? And Biden made the decision to keep him. Okay? So the art of the deal is hardball negotiation. I'm going to say that's why it's boom, 100% tariffs, 150% tariffs. They come to the negotiation table, 90-day pause.
You think China will come to the table?
Well, look at what the statement they just said today. They said
we're not doing it.
They said, right.
They said that was a lie. We're not doing it.
Okay, well, you're paying. Well, China, that's what the whole trade war was. It was getting countries to fall in line into trade negotiations up until they get to China. China's the dragon.
So my perspective is that when China, because America is severing, Europe is shifting now.
To what?
And I'll say this. Europe was hanging on us a little too much. I will agree. They were relying way too much on us. Like we've had money all over the world. But now that we're severing all these relationships, Europe is now shifting on where they're no longer can rely on the United States anymore. And now China is in their DMs like, yo, what's up? I'm ready to make a deal. That and this is like right now seems like this is just my perspective. If I'm wrong, I hope I'm wrong because I'm an American.
Right,
I want people to love us.
Right.
I want people to do business with us.
Right.
But what
lots of people think that same perspective.
Yeah. But what it seems like is going to happen is that not just China, but I think Europe is going to I think Europe now is going to be boosting money like when you were talking about money in defenses and Europe is going to be now boosting their money in defenses because they know that you can't rely on the United States anymore and that they still have to worry about Putin. Putin wants Europe. Make no mistake. Putin wants Europe, okay? He wants to dominate Europe.
I don't
100%.
I don't think he does.
Okay.
I not only don't think he does, I think he also made a tactical miscalculation with the invasion of Ukraine.
Oh, 100%.
So first of all, no, that's totally off the table. Europe is nuclear armed. There is no expansion.
But we
of Russia.
convinced a lot of Europe to disarm. That's why we owe Ukraine so much. And why we promised to help them because Ukraine put their they handed over their nuclear weapons
right
because that was the NATO deal. We got your back if you get rid of nuclear
but then
weapons.
we broke the deal.
Right?
We broke the deal.
So now that's why Europe is like
but
red flag, y'all.
The reason why they're doing
and now they're financing this war. They're going to be.
We've bankrolled the whole thing.
No, I understand, but now Europe is going to be bankrolling this because Trump is already stepping away.
Let them do it because you know what? You want to know why? Another reason why?
But that comes with a consequence.
Well, first of all,
they won't do business with us if we don't show that we are going to invest in their protection.
First of all, that's what NATO's for.
Who do you think made NATO?
We did. Right. But we've been paying. First of all, one of the rules is NATO. You have to pay 2% of your GDP. We're the only country in the alliance that does that. So what Trump is saying is there needs to be a realignment of negotiations. That's what this is.
Okay.
You pay your fair share. And with the invasion of Ukraine, now that's why the whole Golden Dome initiative has started. That's why he wants to make the play for Greenland, right? Because what's in Greenland? The Arctic Circle.
That's that's valuable to Russia.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have tech and up there. We need to secure that flank. Right?
You think it's right that we're taking Greenland?
We're not. Are we going to take it?
I'm asking. Do you think?
That's the art of the deal. That's what I'm saying. You got to read the book. What did he say? We're going to take Greenland, and if we need to, we're going to take it by force. Do you really think he's going to do that?
I don't know.
Do you really think if we were going to do it?
So should we believe him? Should we believe him?
Well, that's what the mainstream media would have you think, right?
I'm asking.
Let's believe him. He's going to invade a foreign country. Oh my God, it's Putin. No.
Yo, it sounds like a TV show.
Because what
it literally sounds like a
what does he do? He gets on the phone with the Danish prime minister. Mr. Trump, we're open for negotiations.
Greenland?
Yeah.
Oh.
Greenland is a country. It's not owned by the Danes. It's a territory that it's like Puerto Rico. But if Puerto Rico wants its independence, we got to give it to them, right? And the Danish are our allies. They're not gonna like it, but it's all about influence.
Some of them are like, yeah, sure, I'll be American. We want American.
But we got to get the government on our side because as soon as we get Greenland, what's gonna happen? We're probably gonna absorb them, right? And then we're gonna put long-range defense systems and include them in our military infrastructure. We're gonna build a base or a port. And we're going to use it for whatever their idea is, whatever their plan is for the Arctic Circle. That's the play, to me. Because, about me, growing up, I've loved strategy. I wanted to be in the military. I want to be a fighter pilot.
Yeah, you'd be a commando.
Yeah,
that was my dream. But I said, you know what? No, I'm not gonna do it. But, Yeah.
I want to make sure we get all this on camera.
All the sauce.
So then when we see how it plays out, we can find out if you
Yeah.
were right or wrong.
100%. Test.
Listen, I don't.
Test my strategic vision.
No.
I'm telling you.
You make a lot of sense in certain areas.
And that's another, yeah. I
You
just
do.
love this whole
You do.
strategy thing, bro. 'Cause
No, but
I
yeah,
see it
yeah.
geopolitically. I see Russia only has one warm water port, and that's Sevastopol, and that's why he had to invade Ukraine.
So what do you think is going to happen to Russia?
What do you mean?
Or what do you think in this whole?
In this whole Ukraine thing?
Yeah.
I think the only play is whatever the Russians already have, they're going to get to keep. There's going to be a demilitarized zone somewhere. They're going to draw the lines in the sand, right? Because we're still monkeys with nuclear weapons drawing lines in the sand. Draw the lines in the sand, and we'll see who plays ball and who doesn't play ball. Because, and that's all I'll say. We'll talk the rest off camera, but
I want to know.
because it's
How do you know this shit?
because I'm a nerd, bro.
How the fuck do you?
I'm a nerd and I sleep all day. I'm up all night watching this, and I have money on it.
Yeah.
I have money on it, so I have a vested interest to learn about it, to know about these deals being made.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's interesting, and it's gonna happen whether we are paying attention to it or not. I might as well make money off of it.
But I will say this: I think China is gonna pass us. I think they're gonna be the dominant. I think they're gonna be the dominant, but not now. In 10 years,
Yeah, exploiting. Listen.
I think it's gonna be in 10 years.
Listen,
it's
if
like a
we-
long game thing. China is very good at long
of
games.
Of course, they're a 3,000-year-old country.
Oh yeah, man.
They don't. They're. There was no America.
Yeah.
For
Not
2,000
even.
years, and
Not
you know
even.
what I mean.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is, how long are you going to exploit your people for cheap labor, for cheap manual labor, before you've maxed capacity? That's the reason why China is able to make so much money, because labor is so cheap
Yeah.
that no other country on earth can compare. They have almost 1.5 billion people. That's their market, cheap labor. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all they're exporting. Cheap garbage. And stealing every other country's intellectual property.
Yeah, I know. They're freaking notorious.
Right?
It's
So
crazy.
that's if that's their game, then how long can you play the game? Now they're becoming, they don't even have chip independence, really. It's all Taiwan semiconductor. That's the whole Taiwan thing. Right? Because now it's like, well, what's going to happen with that?
Trump ain't sticking up for Taiwan.
Well, we sold them a lot of weapons. We gave them a lot of software. Nancy Pelosi, before she left, made a big statement and took a flight over there. Let me tell you something. I don't like Nancy Pelosi,
Yes,
but she's
damn
got more
that
balls than
bitch.
anyone.
I know.
On that one.
She is. Ugh.
She went out with a bang. But so that's what we're watching. That's what the financial world is watching, because if that goes to China,
What's going on with XRP?
XRP is another one.
Am I making some money or what?
Well, I've been in XRP. I've been telling people what I'll tell everyone what I've been telling everyone since 2019 when I found out about XRP. Dollar cost average. Don't put 50 grand in it in one day and then be looking at it, because like I told you, looking at it every day. Don't do that. $10, $20, $30, $50 a day, whatever it is. Look at the price once a week. Put a little bit of money in there, because it's a coin that's gonna have utilization 2, 3, 4, 5 years from
It's
now.
at 219 right now.
Yeah.
XRP?
Because
What
yeah.
about Solana?
It depends on what you use the coin for. I'm not technical with
Solana's super volatile.
yeah.
Like one I have like 8 of them, 8.5 of them, and like I must have bought them for like freaking like $100, and now per coin now it's about it jumps from like 130 to 200 to 110, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's too emotional. I can't watch Solana. It's so freaking.
The only crypto that I would touch is Bitcoin and XRP. And I
XRP.
wouldn't buy a Bitcoin, because then you have to have the conversation of, why are you buying the crypto? Are you buying the crypto because you want to buy $100 and have the $100 turn to 1,000? Like, is that what you're looking for, or are you looking for the util of the coin? Because once you buy coins and you own your keys, you don't have to sell the coins to make a profit. You could just take a loan against it. There's plenty of platforms that will give you cash, dollars, loan against your crypto holdings. So you don't have.
Wow.
Bro, what do you think all the billionaires do?
No, bro. He did, bro, for real.
What do you think, bro? How do you think these major executives and get paid? You think they get a salary? No, they get stock options. That's why they're billionaires. They don't. That's why they don't pay taxes because they take debt. They take a loan against the collateral of their stock options.
This is what Elon does.
Yes, that's why he doesn't have to pay any taxes.
That's crazy.
Because it's the game.
Yeah.
People get frustrated at shit like that because they don't know how it's played. I don't have a fucking dollar to my name, but if you can understand how it works,
You
you can fucking make money off
That's
of
what
it.
we talk about all the time. You got to know the game. You got to be.
Yeah.
Most people don't know it.
They don't know, and
They
they don't
teach you
want to
that-
know because
they don't
they're-
teach you that in school.
That's the point, though. Why would
Yeah.
they teach that in public school to have a populace armed with that kind of knowledge?
That's
There'd be no
crazy.
one to work I say this: someone's got to flip the burgers. You can't have everyone be a rich entrepreneur.
You're not gonna flip the burgers long.
Nah.
No,
He hates it.
But
but we all flip burgers at some point.
I think
Jeff Bezos flipped
100%.
burgers at Amazon.
right.
Jeff
Flipped a
Bezos,
lot.
he's Cuban. He started Amazon in his garage.
Mine,
did.
All right, and you know who he made rich first? His mom and dad.
Then his ex-wife.
And then his ex-wife,
$500
who
million.
then divorced
Half
him
his fortune.
and is giving away billions to charity like it's
That's
nickels.
crazy. That's
feel me?
crazy.
That's
Yeah,
gold.
man.
And now look at this one, the one he has now. She just went to space.
Honestly, that's the level of shit I'm trying to get to.
You feel me? But it's like,
That's the
bro.
level of
You
shit.
saw her face though. Looks like it's still in space.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that one. Sorry,
That's it.
Jeff.
We're sending Jersey Media to space.
Let's
right.
go.
Yo,
To the moon.
Therapy without a degree. I think this was like therapy, like with a stock
From my
option.
bank account.
Yeah, therapy with a stock option and with my bank.
With an
account.
option to buy.
little political vibes.
Facts.
You know,
Yeah.
drop some comments if you think that these dudes should lean more into that type of content.
Oh my
I don't
God.
even know what took us here.
Damn, I would have to watch more news so I know what I'm.
Nah,
He
you-
talks
nah.
circles around me.
Nah, you guys. It's all about what you spend your time though, educating yourself. in. Like I could talk my shit all day too about certain things.
Bless you.
Bless you, but
Thank
like
you.
though, yeah, I don't. You know what it is? Because no matter what, I'm gonna keep hustling.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
It don't matter if.
Yes, bro. 100%. Lock in. The government will not save you. Doesn't
Nah,
matter
100%. Like,
who is in
nah.
White House.
I don't. I never.
Unless you're
like-
rich.
Unless you're rich.
Well, yeah.
The
But if
government
you're
saves
rich-
you rich. Government save you.
Both sides of the aisle are going to save you if you're rich. 'Cause
Got
they
you,
want that
got
donor
you.
money. But
I feel like either way through it all, like it's all like you said, it's a lot of super valid shit, and it helps you, bless
Bless
you,
you.
Thank you.
helps you pivot and make these different moves. But at the end of the day, though, you're gonna get what you get.
Yeah.
You're gonna get what you put into it. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, a lot of the things that like I think that you're saying too is like power plays for like future and like the little things that you could do that will just make huge changes without you even realizing it, just by you implementing these little changes.
Mhm.
But me, I'm like, I don't know, like I can't wait for that. Like I don't want to, or like I just.
That's power play. That's why they say it's chess, not checkers.
That's right.
That's how you have to move in anticipation of the future. And if you make a mistake, you've got to adjust. You've got to pivot.
Yeah.
But you have to be forward thinking. Always.
I be living like I'm gonna die tomorrow.
Yeah.
So like I try to every day, like I try to go into it like literally like tomorrow can be my last.
Right.
So I try to go fucking nuts, because if it's my last shot,
You gave it your all.
yeah.
100%.
This was dope though. Therapy without a degree,
Peace out.
chapter maybe 321, 3 something. Who the fuck knows? Once you get past the 300s, then it's like all right.
All right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But we out of here.
Vio condigos.
Peace. Good shit.